Hi, everybody. I'm Gloria Moraga. This is the Political Woman Podcast. Here are some headlines. This is from the Washington Post. Prosecutor: a tabloid pact led to Trump faking business records. And then the subheadline: a deal to quash stories about sex scandals and boost Trump's candidacy allegedly led to hush money crimes. That's one. Actually, I don't think these headlines are that great. This one's from The Guardian. Trump trial. Hush money was election fraud, pure and simple, prosecutors say. And then the subheadline: ex-president orchestrated a criminal scheme to corrupt 2016 election, prosecution says in opening statement. And this is from the New York Times. I've actually got two from the Times. First one: an unprecedented trial opens with two visions of Trump. And then here's the tease into the two visions. The prosecution's opening statement sketched a seamy scheme meant to further the election of Donald J. Trump. His lawyers said the government's case is merely 34 pieces of paper. Trump's charged with 34 felonies. Here's another headline from the Times. Criminal conspiracy alleged as jury starts hearing Trump trial. And then it says underneath that headline, court adjourned for the day after opening statements from both sides and start of testimony from longtime publisher of the National Enquirer. A lawyer for Donald Trump told jurors the former president did nothing illegal. Yeah, it's like the Times is bending over backwards to be overly fair to Trump. I am Gloria Moraga. This is the Political Woman Podcast. Please subscribe. Please follow me on TikTok and YouTube, and subscribe to wherever you're listening to this podcast. So, it was a half day for two reasons. A juror had an emergency toothache and had to see the dentist, and the court was going to adjourn at 2 anyway in observance of Passover. So they stopped at noon. So we got opening statements from the prosecutor. He went first, and he was, according to reports, really good and fiery. And then Donald Trump's attorney gave his opening statement, and the prosecutor interrupted him a number of times, and the judge ruled in the prosecutor's favor because Trump's attorney was kind of stepping out of bounds and saying things he shouldn't have said. So the key witness, David Pecker, former publisher of the supermarket rag, the National Enquirer, was the first witness. And in order to kind of give you some background on this, rather than me sitting here blathering away, why don't we listen to me blathering away on a video? So I produced this video late yesterday. Actually, it was early into the morning because I couldn't get it done. And I posted it as a pre-video before opening statements today to give everybody some information and background on David Pecker. So I'll play that now, and then we can chat briefly afterwards. Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. Former magazine publisher David Pecker is slated to be the first witness in former President Donald Trump's criminal trial. This is according to the New York Times, which first reported it. Now, according to the Times, Pecker will be the first witness called after opening arguments, which are scheduled to begin in just a couple of hours. Now, Trump is charged with multiple felony counts for falsifying business records. The case against Trump centers on hush money payments made to adult film star Stormy Daniels. Former Playboy model Karen McDougal also received some of these payments, allegedly. Prosecutors are claiming the former president illegally covered up the payments in the days before the 2016 election. Why? He was attempting to silence stories of his alleged past affairs. Now, Pecker was a central player in the alleged scheme to silence Trump's alleged lovers. They called this scheme Catch and Kill. Pecker at that time was the powerful chairman and CEO of American Media Inc., the publisher of the supermarket tabloid, The National Enquirer. A little bit of background: in October 2016, an agent for Daniels contacted AMI, American Media, and said she was willing to go public with her allegations of an affair with Trump. No, the former president has denied the affair. Pecker then allegedly contacted Trump's personal attorney, Michael Cohen, who negotiated the deal to purchase her silence for $130,000. This is according to court filings. That $130,000 payment, which was reimbursed to Cohen by the Trump Organization, is at the center of the Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's case against the former president. Trump has pleaded not guilty. Pecker has been granted immunity in exchange for his testimony. So there you have it. First witness, David Pecker. Stay tuned. I'll have reports throughout the day. All right, so that gives you a little background on David Pecker. What's come out so far is a lot. One of the comments that really got me was he was describing what he used to do because he owned tabloid rags. He was a friend of Trump's, and he had his reporters write all kinds of scummy stories about Donald Trump's enemies. They wrote horrible things about Hillary Clinton. They wrote horrible things about all of the Republicans that Trump didn't like. They found negative stories that were going to show Trump in a bad light. That was the catch and kill scam. They would pay people for their stories, like the Playboy model, the porn star, the crooked doorman, and then they would kill the stories. They would hold the stories back. And it was so dirty, and it was so pervasive. I just wonder where the rest of journalism was when they were doing this, and Trump was killing all of these negative stories about himself. And it just, I don't know, it's sickening. It is sickening. And in fact, I've always liked Michael Cohen very much because, yes, he lied. Yes, he committed perjury. Yes, he committed crimes for Donald Trump. But the good side of him is that he paid for it. He paid dearly for it. He went to prison. It was terrible. He lost his license to practice law, and on and on and on. He's paid. He did his time. After listening to just a little bit of David Pecker and listening to the prosecution, not listening because there's no audio recording of it, but reading everything about it, I just get angry all over again because this was bad. This was pervasive. This really was election interference in the worst possible way. David Pecker and this media company that he owned was in on it with Trump. I mean, what did they get in return? What did Trump give them in return when he became president? It's so dirty. It's so disgusting. It's just a shock that this is happening in our country, and it happened in our country, and it's still going on because Trump's still lying about everything, and he hasn't been brought to justice in any way. Fox, the non-news Fox, is just like the National Enquirer. So it's like we haven't even come through it. We haven't even gotten over it. We're still as bad as it was 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It's very harmful to the country. And this David Pecker guy described what he did was checkbook journalism, that he would buy the stories and they would pay so much money for stories. Well, let me make it clear to all of you out there, all you young people that want to be journalists, there's no such thing as checkbook journalism. You don't pay for stories. These people, they were not journalists in any way whatsoever. They're scammers, they're criminals, they're liars. They're liars. It's show business, but not even good show business. It's disgusting. I pulled just clips from different newspapers. Quote, Donald Trump orchestrated a criminal scheme to corrupt the 2016 presidential election in his efforts to cover up an alleged affair with adult film star Stormy Daniels. The prosecution said on Monday in its opening statements in the former president's criminal trial. And the defense countered that there's nothing wrong with trying to influence an election. It's called democracy. That's another one. That is not called democracy. That's called buying an election. That's committing election fraud. It's not democracy at all. Democracy is putting yourself out there and then making sure the press gets information on everybody that's fair and balanced, and that you get both sides, and then letting the voters decide, and the majority wins. That's democracy. Not what Trump did, not what this lawyer said. This lawyer is full of it. He's full of crap. 34 felony counts, falsified business records, and it's a felony, and I've said this before, it's a felony in New York if you falsify business records to conceal criminal conduct. And that's what they're saying that Trump did. He falsified the business records because he was committing election crimes. So I'll be watching, and I will be posting. So please follow me. I'm Gloria Moraga, political woman, wanted to share because I'm angry and might as well let you be angry too. Please subscribe. Please vote. We've got to get back on track here in this country. And please be safe.